Now to talk about the date, date time, and time data types. Date indicates the day, month, and year with no reference to the time. The date time data type indicates the day, month, year, and the time. And then anything having to do with time zones that's going to need to have some sort of conversion is going to have to be in the date time data type, because the only way to reference and be able to do some sort of conversion from one time zone to another, you have to have that time indicator in there as well. And then time is just going to be the time. So to create any date value, you can use the new instance. So I'm going to do that real quickly. So let's go date, my date, and then date.newInstance. So with the new instance method, the first argument is going to be the year. So we'll do 1980. And then we got the month. We'll do January. And then the day. And then let's say you wanted to reference in your Apex code, you wanted to reference today's date. You always wanted it to be today's date. What you can do is you can add, there is a method called today. So that's going to get you today's date. And then just to show, so as I can see here, in the debug, I see it's 1980, January, and then the 25th. So that's the my date, and then today is April 2nd, 2022. Then you can also add in additional days or take away days. We can do that with the add days. So let's say that I wanted to add 2 days to the my date. We'll add days 2. And then I can see right here, instead of it being the 25th, it is now the 27th. Now let's say that I wanted to remove 4 days. So instead of 2, if I put in -4, and then we'll comment this out. Instead of it being the 25th, it's now the 21st. You can do the same thing with months and years. So let's do add months. We'll do 2. And then we'll do 5 years. And as you can see here, instead of it being January, it's now March. And instead of, in the next one, instead of it being 1980, it's 1985. There's also a different method that you can use to find the days in between. And there's a couple of other methods. There's quite a few different date and date time methods that you can take a look at. We're just doing a couple of them just to get more familiar with some of the, as we can see right here, there's more of them. If I go back, I can see there's a bunch of them. So we're going to go through a couple that are a little bit more common. So let's say I wanted to know how many days are in between the 1980 date and then today. We'll just remove these. And I can see it's 15,000 days. 15,408 days in between. You can also do months in between as well. And then, like I said, there's quite a few other ones. But now to talk about date time. So let's say, just like today, the method for getting today, there's the same for getting the date and the time, which is called now. So I'm going to do now dt, so it's going to be datetime.now, and then that's going to get you the current time for what it is right now. As you can see, it is April 3rd, 2022. Now if we take a look at what today is, as you can see, the days are different. It's showing April 2nd. As for this one, it's showing April 3rd. So why is that? When date time is stored, it's stored in GMT or UTC time, Greenwich Mean Time. And that's why it's different, because depending on where the user is and the time zone is going to be different than what it is, which I will show right now with this user time zone, what it looks like. So now if I just get the date, it's going to be taking in, just like the today of it showing the 2nd, and then the time is going to be referencing the time zone that the user is currently in. Okay, so as I can see here, the date time is still the 3rd, the date is the 2nd, and then the time is 2100 hours instead of the 4th hour. And that's because this user is currently in Pacific Daylight Time. So there's a 7-hour difference between the Pacific Daylight Time and GMT time. So let's say I'm going to change that. We'll do, we'll go Atlantic time zone. So it's going to be a 4-hour difference. So I save that and then go back to run this again. We're going to see that now the date is the 3rd, and then the time, instead of it being a 7-hour difference, of it only being a 4-hour difference, so we're within the next day now. And we can see that this is putting in that the date and then the time is for the users, is putting into account the time zone, as where the now is not. So then if I wanted to get the actual formatted, so there is a method for datetime. It returns a string, so we have to change to a string. And then if I do system.debug, so this is now going to format the datetime to be the user's current datetime. And what did I do wrong? Oh, I know. I need to comment. So one other way to comment out multiple lines of code, I've only shown the way to do it with one. Multiple lines of code is using the slash and then star or asterisk and then slash again. So that's going to be how you comment out multiple lines of code, which we'll go into that more later on as well. As we can see here, now it's formatted, and it's formatted instead of using the military time, it's using just regular standard time, and then the date time. So this is actually taking into account locale. If I wanted to take into, let's say that I change the locale from English United States, we'll just do English United Kingdom, because I know that the formatting is a little bit different. So then if we go back to here and try that, we can see that just as an example, the day is first instead of the month being first, and then the time is back to no longer the 12:40 a.m. So there is also a time data type as well. That one is just like I'm showing time. Let's say that I just wanted to, there is no method such as now or today, so you would have to either take it from the now, or if you just wanted to create an instance of a time, then it goes with the hour, so let's say the first hour, and then it's minute, so we'll do second minute, then seconds, and then milliseconds for the parameters that are in this method. And system board. So as I can see here, hour, second, or hour, minute, second, and then millisecond. And that's date, time, and time.